These are workers at South Africa's biggest orange plantation near Globbersdale. About 500 plantation workers and their families live in these small, modest houses, which makes roughly 1,500 souls in total. In times of harvest, the population nearly doubles, for then half the workers originate in neighboring countries, like for example Mozambique. Besides work and a warm and dry place to stay, there's also electricity and water available here, which most South Africans consider an invaluable privilege. On this Saturday, something extraordinary happens here. The province's Minister of Healthcare, the Ndlovu Care Group, and other non-governmental organizations invite the rural population to Willie Schumann's plantation, providing not only information about HIV, its risks and symptoms, but also free AIDS tests and other medical examinations. In total, 550 AIDS tests, out of which 51 tests show an HIV-positive diagnosis, are carried out. An additional 400 TB screenings and several other preventative checkups on men and women are completed that day. Without this highly important initiative, most of these local people would not have called upon any medical examination or help. Here we see Hugo Tempelman and his wife Lisa both talking to Willie Schumann. Hugo and Mr. Schumann have been working on projects like this for many years.
The goal of such an initiative is for people to gain knowledge of their HIV status when the disease has not broken out yet. In order for doctors to be able to help infected patients as soon as possible, we encourage them to go to the hospital and demand medical help. We also try to inhibit further spreading of HIV. Today, one can have a fulfilling life even if you are infected. The days in which people had to die of AIDS are over. That's what we want to show the people.
Through Hugo Tempelman's projects, the lives of Willie Schumann and his workers have changed for the better. Schumann is the son of the last white Minister of Agriculture.
We realized about 10 years ago that the impact, how drastic it is on our workforce, and that we're losing people. And that was not sustainable. So we started, along with Ndlovu Medical Clinic and Hugo Tempelman, with an awareness program. And since then, in the last 9 years, we have tested 90% of all the people that work for us. We have tested 763 people in total, and 110 of them are HIV positive. And of those people, 52 are on ARV drugs for the last 8 years. Since we've started with the program, we haven't lost a single soul. We've got the policy that we don't discriminate against our people when they become positive. And that has got the effect that we have destigmatized the disease. And some of our ambassadors that works for us, which are positive, works for us and they have become counselors. So needless to say, it has been a very, very successful campaign, and we are winning against this disease.
Roughly 150,000 people live in the township Elandsdorp. It's located in the South African province of Limpopo, which lies 3 hours by car north of Johannesburg. Most inhabitants are unemployed, which for them and their families make every day a struggle for survival. 48% of South Africa's population is aged younger than 24. Out of which only 35% grow up in an intact family. Merely 12% of the non-white population graduate from school. 88% are excluded from the education system. 6 to 7 million individuals are HIV positive. By the time the Soccer World Championship was over, an illusion of better days had vanished with it. Of course, the former problems remain and seem nearly insolvable for the 48 million state. These include 30,000 deaths of AIDS per month. At Ndlovu, a hospital facility which was established by the Dutch doctor Hugo Tempelman and his wife Lisa in 1994, one faces these problems. There was no medical facility in Elandsdorp before then. Solely the Sangomas, local naturopaths, were responsible for the people's health. The clinic draws large crowds every day. The workload which the personnel has to face is immense. and requires well-working structures and protocols which are rare in Africa's clinics. But since luckily these are provided here, the workflow seems nearly perfect. AIDS tests are carried out in these containers. The results are clear after 10 to 15 minutes. This is the first step to save a life, because a correct treatment nowadays dramatically improves the life expectancy of patients. 4 South African doctors and 30 nurses and care workers work here on a daily basis. All of them are well trained. This nurse, for example, is specialized in ultrasound. In addition, 10 HIV supervisors work here at Ndlovu. Other projects, all initiated by Hugo Tempelman with the help of foreign donators, provide about 120 additional jobs. Those donators include Mr. Roland Förster, head of energetics, his co-workers, and other business partners who provide funding for the Ndlovu Care Group. Mr. Förster is glad to inform us about the origin of this support.
4 years ago, we searched for a way to give a part of the success we have had to those who do not have the means to live a life like we do. Through a show on German television, we heard of the Tempelman Foundation and got in touch. We presented this project to our workers and partners, and luckily every co-worker and affiliate was very supportive. And this resulted in an initial donation of 20,000 euros, which was used wisely by the Tempelman Foundation. A second sum of 50,000 euros was raised the second time we wanted to donate money. We even paid a visit to the hospital and the project's facilities together with our partners, which lead to even more support and motivation for donations. So a third round of donations of about 100,000 euros was received. Altogether, a sum of 200,000 euros was raised. One can see that when a lot of people donate small amounts of money, a large sum is collected, which provides funding for effective help. I strongly recommend everybody to engage further and donate. There's still so much work to be done here, and it is necessary that we give a part of the life we are able to live to others who deserve to have a chance.
I'm going to greet her, I'm going to check the baby.
Okay.
Hugo Tempelman is visiting Selina, a 42-year-old mother infected with HIV. This morning, she gave birth to her 4th child. 1,300 babies were already born in this facility, and only 3 were infected with the virus, which is an extraordinary outcome for a South African clinic, similar to European standards. Of course, this was only possible through private funding and results in far better statistics than those of the normal state-funded clinics of the country.
I'm going to teach you how to give the medication to your baby. And we stop with the breastfeeding and we go for the bottle.
We asked Hugo Tempelman what impact it would have if a discontinuation of this financial help was decided.
Dan müssen wir schließen.
In that case, we would have to close the facilities. That's sad, but it's the truth.
Een kliniek wie deze.
A clinic like this does not only provide medical care, but also possibilities for further improvement of treatments from developed countries, adjusted to the conditions which we face here. This is poorly funded by the state, and this is also not fully supported by international aid programs, which is sad, of course. Those people say that our patients are not the target group for our financial help programs. For now, only people like Roland Förster provide us with the means to be able to help the people in need. Projects like preventing the infection of newly born babies would not be possible without energetics. We started that program in 2003, and everybody else told us that it would be impossible in a place like this. But we managed to reach our goal. We set up the facilities and necessary technology and did years of research. 9 years of work was put into the program, and now the same protocols are also used by the state's clinics. I think it is sad to see that we need help from foreign people or companies. But then again, it is even more important that this help is provided for projects in the future as well, and is not suddenly stopped.
Jora's house is one of the other projects in which the Tempelmans are involved. Roland Förster wants to know more about this project. Tombi, who organizes the project, welcomes the guest from Germany.
Roland is from Energetics from Germany und unterstützt die Tempelmann Stiftung.
Roland is head of energetics in Germany and supports the Tempelmann Foundation. We are here to see if the kids are doing fine and how well the project works and which aspects it does include. Roland, this is Jora's house. There are about 180,000 orphans in South Africa because their parents died of HIV, tuberculosis or other diseases. A few years ago, we met some of these children, including Semogila. She was 13 and was like a mother to the other three. At that point, they were in a group of 4 and we decided to build a house for the small family. You can see their old hut over there. The sister of the dead mother left her 2 children here too. She saw that they would have a better chance to survive here than with her. She ran away, so there were 6 children by then. 2 other children showed up one day, so there were a total of 8. The children didn't go to school, had no money, and no birth certificates. They did not get any help from government programs. We built a house for them with a toilet and a water tank, and we sent them to school. Tombi recently organized birth certificates for the children. So in the future, they will be supported by the state. Unfortunately, this is only an example of 8 children who may be on the right path. Other children normally can only stay alive and afford something to eat through stealing or prostitution. Imagine the 800, 8,000 or maybe 80,000 children who could use our help. How much does it cost to build such a house for 8 children? Well, this one is a bit too small for 8 children. We built it with a budget of 15,000 euros, so we estimate that one of the right size would cost about 30,000 euros, including a toilet and water, of course. I can clearly imagine that this is a very good project for energetics or even our partners, and that we can help here. That would be wonderful, because then we would have something to show the people. The donators would see this and say, we made this possible. We changed the lives of these 8 children. Yes, because the motivation to give money comes from seeing what has been done with the donation.
Vivi, we call it Vivi. Then you're guaranteed of study loans afterwards.
Now back to Selina and her baby. Right now, the baby does not have a name. One doesn't rush this in South Africa because newborns often die early, and that's why mothers don't want to get too attached to their babies too early. Luckily, the situation is different in the Ndlovu facility. Selina hopefully won't experience such a tragedy thanks to the help she receives here.
And I'm lying a bit. 2 have been positive since 2003. So all the other children in this program are born are HIV negative, and that is why this clinic is also so special. So I'm not worried. You must just look after her. You're strong, she is strong, and we keep it strong.
Jerry, who serves as the confidant, interpreter, and more, asks Selina what she wishes for.
I'm always praying that my child should be HIV negative. That's my wish.
The Bubesi Clinic lies 3 hours from Elandsdoorn. The second hospital of the Ndlovu Care Group was established in 2006. For the 100,000 inhabitants of the surrounding region and villages, it's a symbol of hope and the only medical facility around. Jerry is responsible for the people there. He's in his mid-30s and grew up in South Africa's largest township, Soweto. He's a very special person. As a child soldier, he fought in the Civil War at Nelson Mandela's side for the end of the apartheid, like so many others. He lost his right forearm in the Civil War and wears his prosthetic with pride. As a hero of the successful fight against the apartheid, he has an excellent reputation as helper and trustworthy person. Here we see him advising a woman who is searching for a job. Jerry speaks fluently all 12 South African languages and dialects, and he helps people in finding jobs and maintains his good connections to employers. Jobs are scarce and actualized frequently. Jerry knows that his job would not be possible without Hugo Tempelman. He knows how important Hugo Tempelman is to the people here.
You know, Hugo, he's an amazing man. He's really an amazing man, and my connection with him, I really can't explain it so much, and I really don't know. Maybe he has that belief in me that I can come down here and assist this community. He's an amazing man. Really, he's amazing. I really don't know how to explain this. He's extraordinary. Really, I don't know. Especially, you know, in this community, you mention Tempelman's name. You know, they don't know, they just say Tempelman. You mention Tempelman, you see the smile, you know, from everybody's face. They start smiling. And for this community in particular, he's very, very much important because he has changed people's lives in this community. And whilst they see him, you know, they see a savior. They see a savior person who really saves their lives.
The Bubesi Clinic looks similar to the one in Elandsdoorn and act up to the same principle. It's a model for further hospitals which will be hopefully built in future years. Hugo Tempelman often visits the Bubesi Clinic, where he also meets his trustworthy employee, Jerry.
Bubesi Community Health Center is the
Bubesi Community Health Center was built in Bushbuck Bridge by the whole community of 160,000 people after Ndlovu had been founded. This clinic does not only provide medical care, but also gives hope to the people and the community altogether. With this model, we prove that medical care of high quality is possible in the rural areas of South Africa, and that locals can be introduced and trained to carry on with the work and maintain this high standard. We've also built another clinic named Niati. It was funded by the Ministry of Health and Care, a private donator, and the Ndlovu Care Group, and is already finished. But it is not yet in use.
Sanbonan. Dumelang. Good afternoon. Chesa. Namuta blabla English. Namuta blabla English.
Jerry, the all-rounder, meets with 50 women from the surrounding villages. They meet every day in the afternoon to talk about problems and sorrows, but also the daily life and practical help. Together with other useful information, Jerry also teaches the women how to grow salad and vegetables. A single-sided diet can make the people sick, which makes Jerry's work even more important. Jerry informs his employer about all the important things he gets to know. The most common problem is, of course, the lack of water.
Challenge with water in the clinic. So that was the feedback to them as everybody who was seated here.
Have you also told them that we're not only going to use the water for inside, but also that we will make taps on the outside so that the community can fetch water after hours?
Yes, I can even stress that again.
It is so wonderful, and God makes miracles happen. That's what they sing. Tradition is very important to the people here and the Sangomas. The local naturopaths seem to be asked for advice even before seeing a doctor. Jerry has a good relation to them and convinces them to send people which they cannot help to the clinic. This is the degree. In some way, Hugo Tempelman becomes a Sangoma himself. Although not using bones for rituals, he does magic with his mobile phone. For these people, their first photo is a small miracle. It's cooperation instead of confrontation which results in success here in this rural area. This seems only possible through trust and personalities like Jerry, the former child soldier who has found his fulfillment in working with Hugo Tempelman.
Tempelman, he really changed my life. I was from nowhere to be somebody. So I am what I am today because of his belief in me. And he really changed my life.